as well. This is not as solid of a draft as game number 1, just straight up. They had a very identifiable split push composition. This time around, it's like, well, we're pretty good at picking and kiting, and they do have jacks for decent split pushing as well.
I mean, you can split push with Tahm, Kench, Ezreal, theoretically, because then you can Abyssal Voyage, much like you can Destiny Gate. It just requires having a couple of people. But this is going to be a Hanwha Life roster, a little bit of a change-up from game number 1 with the Wukong top side and the Azir in the mid lane now. Plus 200 Years Under the Sea as the bottom lane duo of Aphelios and Nautilus. And the Canadian dollar just trolling around. As he did in game number 1. And this is going to be your T1 roster. The classic Ezreal Karma that we saw not work consistently. Over on the side of Team Dynamics earlier in the day, T1 now looking to give them a few lessons, a few pointers on how to get that one done. But as far as 4-1 is concerned, not a bad comp at all. The Jack's freely able to split push and should be able to duel up against the Wukong based on how the early game goes. As we get onto the Rift, we'll see whether the Jax is going to prove to be the correct pick into the Wukong, or whether Hanwha Life can fight back and bring us to the full 6 games on the day.
Yeah, let's take a look here. It doesn't look like any shenanigans here in the early game, although Faker. Nice start, gets a stack of his mana flow ban. That's always a nice
the dream
feel.
Yep. Did 100 damage to Mireu as well. Not bad. Alright, bit of a back here. Maybe a bit of a switch out. And it is going to be Sweeper, picked up from the Canadian dollar. So it looks like he's going to be starting on his red side jungle.
A lot less Scorches nowadays.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't really see many, at least today. Or, yeah, in both series today. We do have, looks like Futures Market there on the Nautilus. Not super common, but definitely a good rune.
Yep, I feel like that's a Lehends thing. I feel like Lehends is the type of player that can make use of that. As Glorious Thomas looking quite magnificent with that particular skin. His Faker moves on up. Traditional Karma. I believe? Is that a traditional Karma skin? Because that's actually a skin.
Is it?
I'm trying to remember. I think it's
I don't know,
actually...
it kind of looked normal to me.
Yeah, I think
I'm
it's
not
just
sure.
stock. Never mind. Viper playing around. As, okay, Teddy gets one of the farm. And this is actually, I'm really, really interested in this particular matchup. Because I think Viper is a fantastic Aphelios player, but I think Teddy is one of the best Ezreals in the world. And we need to know why Ezreal is being picked on purpose into Aphelios, when from what we've seen, he loses all of the matchups. As Canna is just getting whacked on by Dudu.
Yeah. Just taking it there. And we could have seen that early.
Okay.
Yeah.
Viper's going to find Cuzz, who does safeguard his way out. Means that Lehends gets taken down to 200 health, and Viper misses out on a bit of experience.
We saw that Tahm from Team Dynamics, he had moments where the Ezreal looked pretty good in the mid game. Obviously the mid game, Ezreal's favorite place in this game. But then other times where, even in the late game, he was trying and he got close, but never quite able to out-carry the Aphelios. So I think you're absolutely right. We have to see what Teddy can do on a pick like this, as it should look very different.
Oh. Here's Cad. Gonna try and get on forward. It's not the greatest of pillars. It means that the Airy is all he's going to get for his trouble. It's Teddy Arcane shifting pretty aggressively there. And Dudu might just be solo killed, as the Empower should be coming back up. Flash still available here from Canna, but Leap Strike is there, and that's first blood. Solo kill, and he gets a flash and doesn't have to use his own. That is a catastrophe. Unless you're a T1 fan, in which case it is just style points.
Yeah.
Once again.
We're going to have to see exactly how Dudu got himself into that position. Definitely very unfortunate for him that, especially as you mentioned, Canna just leap strikes. He's like, okay, you're dead, buddy. It was probably a trade gone wrong. Dudu was looking good when it was level 2 to level 1, but it's a very different story when Jax gets, you know, a bunch of attacks down, and then
I think it was a
Faker.
teleport back to lane situation that Dudu didn't quite respect enough.
I think they
From
both
what we can see.
keep back to lane now.
Oh, did they both actually go back and come back again?
think so.
Okay, well, then there's no excuse.
I'm sure we're going to get a look at the replay, though, just to make sure.
Oh,
He's
another
going in
leap
again.
strike. Yeah, exactly. Counter-Strike will go down as Dudu decoys his way into the brush. Cuzz is going to be here. It's a decent pillar this time. Sleep Strike does get Canna out to safety, but back in they go. Cad down to 300 as Cuzz not so lucky. He's going to have to limp his way out of here, but it looks like it has stemmed the bleeding. And Dudu does have a severe health advantage.
I want to see that replay.
Yeah, they'll probably show it.
I'm like, guys, can we see it? Maybe they want to see more trading here. As Wukong definitely has some decent trade potential early on in the game, but you always have to respect the Jax. So we're going to see. It was actually started here by Jax, as you saw the little stealth, I don't know what you would call that, flare or ghost or something. He said, I got him.
Yeah, and he got his flash.
Yeah.
And he pinged it to his team. As yet again, Leap Strike just being used off cooldown as another decoy comes forward. Cad going to come on in this time, though, and it's going to mean that Canna is not going to be so lucky. Okay, that's pretty impressive as Dudu just turns around and smashes him in the face with his stick. That's what happens when you have a real weapon, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he didn't have to flash there. I think he was almost 100% of the time dead, but kind of, especially after game 1, I'm sure he is just, he destroys game 1, gets a solo kill game 2, and he is just feeling it, the overconfidence oozing out of him, and that's, I think, why he flashed there. So, got to be careful about that.
Don't mind it. Also, with Leap Strike, you can do some fancy stuff, assuming you have a ward. I don't know whether that control ward was actually in his back pocket in time, but Cuzz is desperately trying to crash this wave into the turret. But the Wukong should be able to get here to get all but the cannon minion, basically. So not quite able to shove it fast enough, and now Canna finds himself with absolutely nothing to do. I'm not sure whether he's going to actually place that control ward. Taking a bit of a wander down the river at the moment, as Faker is going to put Cad on a leash. And he's going to take a little bit of a pillar for his trouble. Otherwise, no worries.
Jungler's getting angry, stealing all the lane XP and gold.
Yep.
Getting in there, helping push, trying to get better lane states for their laners. But kind of looks like, you know, if this were solo kill, that wouldn't be the reason why that's happening. But let's see how this top lane is going to go from here on out. The first kill was taken by Canna, but he's fallen behind a little bit in CS. So that will put the Dudu ahead.
Yep, having a look at this one once again. Canna just, biting off a little more than he can chew.
Gets smited, stuns them both, and I suppose he didn't have to reset there, probably used it on the jump. And he had a ward, but it didn't spot the bottom of that long brush. So he didn't quite see the Trundle coming, was able to sneak on in, and kind of got caught by surprise there.
Oh, so far, Cuzz has soaked a few waves of minions top lane. And the least in effect is something that we've wanted to see improved here in the LCK. So far, not quite there. As Lehends, he's left his lane, and he's over here looking for Cuzz. Cad gonna move on in to go for some sort of smite fight, but Kuri, he got the memo. He's going to turn up as well, as Cuzz is going to at least search to see where Cad might be. Faker looking to clear this control ward. Nope, not going to try and contest. Mireu and Lehends just going to move up towards this first Rift Herald. HLE going to be taken down. Canna gets back to lane. He's 20 CS down though. Probably something you'd expect for a Jax. Certainly has a bit of ramp up time. Lehends gets licked. And Cuzz is looking for him. Finds himself the Q. Flash comes out. Cuzz not going to flash over into 4 people. Intelligent. True Shot Barrage is going to find Viper. And Teddy is currently down 3 CS. Otherwise, everything's absolutely fine.
Yeah, just the AD carries left alone here with the Rift Herald play. It did have a bunch of help me pings around the Rift Herald from the side of T1, so it did look like they wanted to get Gon in there and challenge it, which they did. Canna also left the top lane pushing into him, which denied a decent amount of XP and gold away from Dudu during that whole exchange. And actually, he's just going to get to work on that once again, because doesn't seem to mind it, as he'll get his own Infernal Drake down on the bottom side, as Kuri is still in the mid lane. Now he's Faker support.
Yeah, I guess so. Doesn't seem to matter though, does it? Because Teddy's taking turret plates by himself, denying whatever he can. As in goes Lehends, Teddy gets himself his turret plate. Concussive blows do come down. Dredge line waited for here by Teddy. As Cuzz going to safeguard his way in. That's a good kickback just to deny Viper the kill. And in the end actually worked, because Teddy didn't have to invest anything, and all they had to use was Dragon Rage, and Cuzz will have that one up relatively quickly.
Yeah. Thought it might have been a case of him greeting for the turret plate, but it ended up, it was all calculated with Lee Sin coming down. Cuzz hasn't been too visible during this game with the Lee Sin, but at least he did pick up that Infernal Drake. Still waiting to see what all this priority on the Lee Sin is all about.
Well, it works in China, Valdez, and
yeah, well,
I'm not sure. Shelly's going to pop down here and see whether she can pump some more money into the Aphelios. Kuri going to clear out these minion waves, but looks like the tower's going to survive for the moment, but only on its last legs. Hanwha Life should be able to finish this one off relatively quickly. Lehends is having fun with his Hex Flash.
It's always a fun time to scare your opponents with. And we've kind of slowed down after that early game top shenanigans. And looks like they're going to hand over the blue actually to the Ezreal. The Karma, again, doesn't necessarily need much to just survive and farm. And
especially when you have Athenes, right?
Yeah.
It's a fair bit of region in unto itself. And going to be building quite a few mana items, actually, if she's going to go the Kuzan build without opting in for the Rabadons as third item. Kind of going to get the stun here. Eternity Force is what he's really looking for. And then he's going to be happily dueling. Although, once again, charging up those Conqueror stacks. But yeah, I think it's time to talk about Nintendo, really. Let's be honest.
yeah,
Not a lot going on.
Oh,
It's okay, never mind. Dudu just going to run away. Kick back, resonating strike, not going to be opted in for here, as Cuzz is he's a kickboxer based on that skin, but he's not doing a lot of boxing. He's just doing a lot of kicking at this point.
yeah, he's a kick bot at this point in the game. And, I mean, that is, I suppose, one of the positive things about Lee Sin's kit is that you can disengage effectively against someone who's running at you.
He's also level 7, remember, as the dredge line lands onto the Tahm Kench, though, True Shot Barrage, finds Cad, good exhaust down as well as Lehends, just gets smacked by Cuzz easily. Takes him down as now Viper's getting soloed out by Teddy. Arcane shifting and flashing forward, but actually missing that last Mystic Shot as now Mireu, he's dead. And Cuzz may have heard us on this broadcast as he might just look for a Q into this brush. Not going to be able to find it as the Tempest isn't enough. But still, a gigantic win for T1, despite the fact that Viper did not go down. And Teddy demonstrating just how dangerous this Ezreal is. He must have so much money in his back pocket, by the way. He's been sitting on those items forever.
Yeah, he might just go back and buy both of them.
Potentially.
He bought Manamune and boots.
And another Sapphire Crystal.
So there will be, you know, games like this where the action is just all over the place, where the Lee Sin pick looks really good. And he effectively baited Lehends into a really awkward spot. The TP got Lehends into an even worse spot, and then Kuri just barely survives with Faker's shield and his own. And that's what allows Cuzz to get back. As we see, the fight between the 80 carries was actually too much for a Viper to handle, and that's why he had to just back away.
Oh, it was a good sidestep, actually.
Yeah, great job. Maybe that's the reason why we see so much Ezreal into Aphelios, because in a straight-up fight,
Teddy's Ezreal is a different champion to a lot of other Ezreals.
he will do well.
think there are a few Ezreals that we trust. I think Def's Ezreal used to be fantastic, not as amazing as it used to be, but let's hold the thought for now as Tahm Kench. I think we've got, you want some sushi? Some catfish sushi there towards the bottom side of the map, and Viper is handed that on a silver platter. The service at this restaurant is absolutely amazing. But in the meantime, the Jax is doing work. The teleport is going to be an advantage of T1 when it comes back up as far as top lane is concerned. And it's just the one kill in trade for a turret. Was close to getting a bunch of plates as well. Missed out on the last couple, I believe, but also did get a fair bit of extra money and was able to close that gap as far as the CS. So I think still a trade up for T1.
Yeah. It's like a nice set play. You know, I think Hanwha Life with some new members, they're still trying to get their feet underneath them and keep everything stable. So going for set plays like that is nice. You know, the timing is good.
Oh, wow, that Q is so close to hitting that from Cuzz.
Okay.
He just gets the kick. Remember,
that's a long foot, man.
He's just the kicker. He's not a kickbot, he's a kicker.
Yeah.
And he really, that's what happens. If you only practice your kicking, you're going to really extend your range. As he does finally put those fists to use, as Lehends is going to have to get out of there. Does so without using the flash, though. Good judge line.
Yeah. I want to see the replay of the slow motion of Leeson's foot extending. You know, I didn't watch.
Is it like Space Jam?
I didn't watch much One Piece. We were mentioning this before with Kuri, but I know there's that stretchy guy.
He is pretty
I don't know
stretchy.
his name, but I know he can stretch, and that's maybe...
Fantastic Four is another example of that.
Yeah, what about the... Isn't it the woman from The Incredibles, right?
Yeah. Elastigirl.
Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
You got all our references in.
You're absolutely fantastic. All of that
pop
culture that you just
I know
understood.
The pop cultures.
You did it.
Great.
A boomer no more.
I've joined the cool club because I watched the Marvel movie. Yes!
But it's like... I don't know. I think a lot of people don't understand that you don't get a lot of the references, not because you're a boomer and you know only old stuff. It's because you don't know anything other than playing like 2 different video games your entire life.
I know a lot about League of Legends.
Yeah, it's like League of Legends and World of Warcraft. You know all
StarCraft, know a lot about that. Yep. And
Outside
Age of Empires, that's another one I played a lot.
Did you play much Civilization? I like that one. It's fun. Gonna check out Cuzz, missing a Q here. Oh, we get to see the foot.
살짝 얘 볼게. 잠시 봐줘.
I actually did just
I'm gonna try for this.
까비. 잘 맞아. 오케이.
What?
That's a long foot.
It's even like a pillar in the way.
Well, that's what happens if you train that foot a lot.
Okay.
You get through anything. Brick walls, things like that.
We have another windowed mode player. We already knew that about Cuzz.
Yep, good devour.
You know, the Tahm Kench is interesting against the Varus Ashe combo.
Good kickback there. It's under Lehends, though. Is Cad going to try and do some work. Good Cyclone as Cuzz is going to go down first. The Aphelios is going to be reaping the rewards. And now more sushi. Viper must have been very, very hungry as there's the stopwatch from Lehends. He's styling on them here in the mid lane. Hanwha Life, they answer back. Not quite enough to get themselves the gold lead, but otherwise things looking good as Canna lying in wait and decides to do mostly the wait. I want the Krugs.
Yeah, Krugs, definitely a lot of gold. But yeah, I think T1 just got a little bit too far down the lane there as Dudu is going to try to trade back here. He's not exactly in a great spot here with not a completed item against Trinity Force. Generally, not a good trade there. As you can see, it starts off by the Lee Syndrome. He goes in, and then he kind of baits his team into a bad spot down the lane. And Dudu actually with the great follow-up engage.
Yeah, I was actually sick from Dudu. Really, really nicely done.
Definitely a great play from that rookie top laner. Gotta hand it to him. He is angry after game number 1. Doesn't want to be bullied anymore.
Understandable too. That was a difficult one for him. As Canna, I believe, is building towards his Ninja Tabi and, of course, the Death's Dance, which is just so good. Second item. As Kuri gonna have to flash pillar a little bit late there from Cad.
Yeah, at least Lehends lost his flash, so he looks a little bit less silly after the play.
And now Teddy parked in the mid lane. Got an interesting build coming out from Faker here, actually opting in for the second item Ludens instead of third. Ardent Sense are going to be a little bit late or non-existent, depending on what he wants the build to look like. It's not as valuable, I guess, on a Ezreal, but it's super valuable on Jax. I think you'd actually really want to purchase it as soon as possible, but Faker obviously has his reasons, looking for a little bit of extra upfront damage first. As Cuzz is a big boy. He's really far ahead in farm. He's 3-1-0, has a fully completed Black Cleaver.
Yeah. You got a Fed Lee Sin on your team, but you would rather have the Fed Aphelios, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
And he is 3-0-1 Viper. He didn't get a chance to carry in game number 1 because the top side of the map fed a little bit too much. Maybe this is his time to shine, given the Aphelios versus Ezreal matchup, and essentially handed over the champion once again and saying, I dare you to do that and actually win against us. They're going to be able to secure this Mountain Drake at least.
And once again, the split push is on, actually. Faker's up towards the top side. Inspire actually does give Karma a lot of ability to split push because you just run faster than most other people. But Hanwha Life able to capitalize nicely. They take themselves the first Mountain Drake of the game, and they also take down the mid outer turret. That is going to keep them within touching distance. As Faker is 2 levels ahead of Mireu, who is second highest level in the game. Faker is just, I don't know, he's still playing Twisted Fate, although he's playing Karma instead. Does that make sense? Sitting in side lane, soaking all of this farm and experience.
He hasn't gone Ardent Sensor in this game. He's like, well, I don't really want that in this one with the Ezreal.
I still think he should get it, though. Jackson,
it doesn't,
Ardent Sensor is
feel bad.
super good.
Ardent Sensor, LS was talking about this on his own stream about how it's just a huge bundle of stats, not to mention all of the buffing that you do.
Yep. Devour comes in, depth charge is going to mainly hit onto Kuri. Cuzz is going to be in position, but it looks like the catfish is well and truly dead. Yeah, he is. And T1 not actually opting in because they've got Canna on the bottom side. And now Hanwha Life are thinking about a Baron. Abyssal Voyage is there, so in 20 seconds, Kuri can be pretty close.
I mean, Canna's got TP. You already have Cad, who's below half health, with an Ezreal that's going to poke. Lee Sin.
Yeah, Cuzz can just go for a 50-50 here. They may as well do it, as Hanwha Life probably will look for a turn. As Teddy finds Lehends, Canna gets in there, as it is going to be Baron taken by Hanwha Life, but they need someone to actually have the buff. As now Dudu, no mana whatsoever. There are no turrets in the top lane, so T1 can chase forever. As Cat is actually going to look to meet his teammate. That might actually cause his demise.
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh dear, Cuzz easily going to be able to get this one. I have no idea why he flashed.
Okay.
That was very strange, but Cad's now actually going to escape. Teddy was doing the right thing and taking down turrets. But despite the Baron going down, they get 3 kills and they continue their onslaught onto these standing objectives on the map in these turrets. This is the last remaining inner that they can even go for. And Teddy should be able to take that one down. Oh my god, the combo! But the ulti comes in. Devour is brilliant. Kuri! Really good to see this guy playing so well in his debut match. True Shot Barrage comes down. That's going to be the end of the Trundle. This is, ladies and gentlemen, why you picked the Ezreal. As Teddy's still alive. Lehends, almost the stipe with that Mystic Shot as Viper looking for it to show the Aphelios. As there's the Arcane Shift, flash away there as the Gravitum. Pretty difficult to deal with that one, but Cuzz, what the heck was that? As now Dudu dives on top of the Dragon Rage kick is going to be there. Canna not going to be able to get enough CC out of that counter-strike as Grandmaster's Might, I believe, was ticking, and it still is, but the turret is going to mitigate that one. And in the end, I think Dudu might get the last laugh as the double Cyclones will get the Catfish and maybe this Muay Thai boxer as he's trying to run away. There it is. Nimbus Strike after the decoy comes out.
I just hear the Korean caster screaming Dududunga behind me as he goes in. As Dududungjang is actually, to like get in there, real fast, real fun. As I wanna put you guys to Teddy, who is, again, we talked about this, maybe he's gonna be the one guy to prove to us why Ezreal gets picked into Aphelios. I feel like even though it was a broken fight, that's the perfect time for Ezreal to really pop off as he pops off. There he pops off. Here Kuri great positioning to be close enough to make sure that he devours him up. Even though Kuri has died a lot, he's sacrificed a lot for his team, and he's actually been in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I actually think he's been brilliant.
Yeah, he's had a great
I don't know
game.
what that tongue lash was. That's okay.
And then we get to see a little bit of why Teddy and Cuzz are sometimes considered the best at their roles. The mechanics begin to pop off as Cuzz comes in. He has the wherewithal to say, hey, if I get in there for that last bit of damage, I can secure this and help Teddy survive. Until, of course, Dudu comes in.
Yeah. Not entirely sure why Canna decided it would be a really good idea just to go face first underneath the turret with the Wukong still alive, but it did mean that Dudu was able to fully clean up. And after the dust settles, we'll have to see exactly what that means as T1 are setting up for yet another fight, so we're not going to be able to see what it means as far as the items. It looks like we're straight back into another battle, but that's what we want. This is the LCK. It's not known for super fast, super fun action. And at 24 minutes, we have 22 kills. So this is definitely shaping up better than especially some of our games in our first.
Yeah. T1 drafts fun comps against teams that they know they're better against, and they play them and they actually have fun with them.
Oh, that's a dredge line. Good arcane shift, and Kuri's going to get the Devour as well. Cad should be going down, but in goes Dudu into the back line. Grandmaster's Might not enough to do anything there as Mireu gets the ulti onto only Faker, but it doesn't seem to matter because Aphelios is still alive. And Cuzz is randomly at a quarter health on the bottom side of the screen. That is going to be Dragon Soul Point as T1 gets slaughtered in that team fight.
Yeah, we begin to see bit by bit why Wukong especially is a very high tier pick nowadays. The amount of CC he offers in a team fight on top of just straight up damage and his ability to survive through invisibility, through death stance is uncanny. Over the wall here goes Lehends, a great engage. At first you're thinking, okay, T1 got this, but then Canna, yet again, he goes in, and look at the difference between the top laners in this team fight. I'm not saying the skill, just the champions and their effect on it. The knockups in the background do so much for Hanwha life, whereas Canna goes in and he doesn't have his counterattack up. And so he kind of just dies eventually, even though he's got a lot of resistances and doesn't end up doing much as he gets CC'd to death. And from there, I mean, Lee Sin got burst down a little bit early on in that one, even though he had a good kick. Just to survive, he wasn't able to do much, which is part of the reason why we don't enjoy too many Lee Sins here in a very team fight-centric region. And there you go, Hanwha Life able to secure a win in the team fight as well as another dragon. They're on Mountain Soul Point, and they actually have a chance to win this one against T1.
And they have 100 gold lead, Valdez. For the first time in this series, they do get themselves ahead in gold. As now Mireu moves back towards the bottom side, looking to try and fight this one out against Canna. Another Cyclone, I believe, still available. There it is. Grandmaster's Might is down, and Canna's just going to leap strike his way out of this one. Both top laners getting melted down by their own death dances. There we go. Counter-Strike is going to mean that Dudu's not going to be able to close the gap as Mireu decides that it's his turn. Conquering Sands is going to be available. There it goes. Flash eventually gathered, and Leap Strike will get Canna to safety. So he survives, but not without having to invest a fair bit into that one. Dudu only his ultimate. Mireu, not much at all, just a shifting Sands cooldown. Now T1 able to move towards the Baron. But if Canna can keep making pressure like that and causing two people to come down to his lane, still doing his job.
Yeah. Especially when, you know, objectives are up. I feel like it was a bit of a shame for T1 that the Baron was about 20 seconds away from respawning when that whole shenanigan did happen in the bottom side. But perhaps that's the reason why Hanwha Life went for it, and it was just a calculated play. They were able to get that flash out of the Jax, which is a very important summoner for anyone, but especially for Jax, who loves to reposition. So he's just going to return to the split push. Let's see how hard Hanwha Life want to try to force this Baron. They could just try to sit back and wait for Mountain Drake to spawn in 2 minutes, and then if they secure that, go for Baron afterwards after Mountain Soul. But I'm not sure exactly how confident they're feeling about winning that dragon fight.
Well, I mean, the last fight certainly went very well for them, and I think front to back they do have a composition that at this point in the game is looking much better. T1, they do have the Lee Sin problem. They have Karma, who doesn't necessarily scale fantastically. She has got a more scaling build than she would otherwise have, even with Sorcerer Shoes. It's a little bit greedy. But has completed the very fancy hat. But Cuzz is going to fall off. Even Tahm Kench not going to offer as much. But we'll be able to reposition Teddy. This is a Teddy hard carry type game with hopefully Canna in a side lane getting some stuff done. As True Shot Barrage will stop some backs and give some information over to T1, allowing them to go for their own reset. Blade of the Ruin King likely to be finished here by Teddy, and he does just complete it. Next item here for Faker, I'm hoping, is going to be the Ardent Sensor, and there it is. Going to be started at least, not quite completed just yet. And as a fourth item, Ardent Sensor with a Jax and an Ezreal. It's a little bit sad.
Yeah. Wanted to prioritize just straight up big numbers rather than a little bit more of a supporty type build with the Ardent Sensor earlier on.
Okay.
I don't know about this
gonna
cat.
get killed.
I don't know about that one, buddy. Teddy, you mentioned this is going to be the solo carry from him if they win. And split push, you know, sidekick Canna.
Oh, 100%.
That's going to be the story at the end of this one if T1 win. And you can't, you're Trundle, okay? It's late game against Ezreal with 4 items. You're not running at him anymore. It's not happening. I don't care if you subjugate him or whatever. It's not going to work.
I'm not sure what a Hanwha Life are actually looking for here. It was like they were trying to trade the Mountain Drake. Remember, they have a lot more flexibility in this moment. T1 have to stop them from getting it. Whereas Hanwha Life, they can feel free to take this turret first and even give up the Drake, because one Mountain as T1's second Dragon is really not a big deal. As yeah, Hanwha Life are just going to move straight towards the base. And the Dragon does go down, but now they're going to lose an inhibitor turret for it. As Lehends moves on over, flashes forward just to stop the backs. The kickback does come in. Are they just going to win the game? Teddy gets back to base. Canna's there as well. As now Dudu underneath his turret gets the Cyclone knock up onto Teddy. Dudu taking a lot of damage, but the second Nexus turret, it's going down so incredibly quickly, and Viper should just be able to eat through it. Oh my god, we're going to 6 games. Hanwha